Three, two, one, let's go. Okay, we're looking at a couple things today in this condensed Go game. We're looking at skill, we're looking at strategy. Skill, strategy, skill, strategy. Which one's better? We'll find out. At least in this particular game, we'll see sort of the difference between the two. And they are different, right? Because we're talking small moves with skill, how the little Josekis are going to play out, how you pressure a stone or you move one line over versus two lines over, the sort of small, intricate moves versus strategy. We're talking big picture. We're looking at the whole board. You want big chunks, big groups. What's your strategy when you're dealing with kind of the game as a whole versus skill, which is the little parts that make up the whole. So let's get into it. This particular match, I'm playing as white, and we're up against black as always. And I'm 8K, black is 9K. Pretty evenly matched, intermediate skill level, give or take. Let's get into it. Black took the upper right-hand corner right off the bat. We each take a corner, sure thing. Black gets aggressive right off the bat with the 3-3 undercut in the bottom right-hand corner. That's okay. I respond to that. Box him out there a little bit. Black extends there on the lower left. And there's a big move. There's our first example of strategy coming into this game. Black hopped in here and took this corner. He's taken it. It's no big deal. And that move has allowed us to kind of create this line here, right? I'm going to redraw that. We've got white's line, our line. We've got a nice solid line there. There's a couple cutting points, sure, but that's looking pretty solid. And now black has kind of filled in this left-hand corner, extending out to the right. And I'm saying, hey, I want to have a line here. So this is an example of a good big move. There's a lot of space in there. If I can capture that, it could be great. That's a bigger move than jumping out, 3 lines here. Although, quite frankly, this is almost too big. There's opportunity for him to cut in there. And we see that in the very next move. Look at that. Black jumping in, threatening to cut off this point right here. So I'm probably going to have to respond. Perfect, as we do. I should mention this game's from a couple years ago. I haven't played it back since, so I don't know exactly what's going on. But I have a note to myself saying skill versus strategy. And I was playing the strategy. We'll play this out. So black, he's got to run out there, getting kind of aggressive. Nice. Okay, so that worked out all right for me. Like I said, we got this group that was kind of safe-ish here. And we actually did manage to connect it underneath with this last play there. So black did a good job in cutting that off, actually, right? Because we were hoping to get all this space in the middle of what was this line and kind of this line over here. Black kind of jumped in and did a good job of screwing us over there on that point. So, but that said, he is on the run. He's got to jump up north here. He's got to run that direction, upwards, north. I don't know, but he doesn't have any eyes yet. But he can probably get something in there. Carrying on. Okay, so right away, I like this move of mine. This very next one here. Because like I said, I kind of had this line, fairly strong line down here. And by jumping here, we're showing we want to go up this way, and we're just taking big chunks, maybe another big chunk. But then black did respond, jumping down this way. Exact same move, we'll notice that he played over here. He was on the 3-4. Here he's on the 3-4. He jumps over 3 lines. With 2 plays, he's captured some territory. So, well, on a skillful move, I would say that's an example of his skill in this game. Not a huge move, but I get aggressive right off the bat and kind of poke at him there. Yeah, come out there. I'm just going to play this out, try and find the next example of skill and strategy here. This is kind of worked out all right. So we were saying there's a good chance he had this upper right-hand corner, but we really did force him around here, right? We came around the corner, and we kind of pushed him down. Although that said, he's going to get a nice bit of that upper right-hand side there. Carrying on. Yeah, that was nice. And I have a nice little wall and a wall there. This time it worked out, right? Because previously down here I had a wall and I had a wall, but there's nothing in the middle. This time I have 2 walls. I got one there, one there. So that's totally safe. That's a nice big chunk of territory. Opportunity to come out and extend out here. Moving on. All right, battling over the corners. This, with a couple moves, I've gotten a lot of this left-hand side of the board. Look at this, 2 stones and 2 stones, and that pretty much captures me this whole corner, right? And then the very next move, I jumped out 1 more stone. So 5 stones, and look at how much territory. That's a strategy play. That's not, I'm not playing one-on-one with his stones in a battle sequence, anything like that. This is just saying, hey, I got a couple moves free where I sort of have the initiative, and with those 5 moves, I can take an entire corner. That's huge. That's 5 plays to get a corner. You look down here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plays. That's not nearly as big of a space. He's barely alive in there. Versus compare that to this, right? Like we're talking twice as much. Carrying on. Toss in the middle. Try and cut him apart there. Looks like I get 1 capture. He's put the pressure on this little group of mine, right? This little group is not in great shape. This one has extended out nicely, and we've actually got 1 little capture there. We captured that black stone. But that could have went better. I'm going to back up this move. Don't love it. Because he did the right thing here. This is an example of his skill in the minutiae of the game, the little battles. He played on the lower part, and I think that was 100% the right move because it forces me up, as you'll see. There we go. And then he connects because he's got 2 cutting points. I cut 1. He then attacks that stone. All this to say, I didn't help this group down here at all, right? I still have 2 stones, 2 stones. This is only 4 stones strong. I have no eyes. He can invade in from the left-hand side underneath. He can push up from below here. So all I did, I strengthened this group a little bit by doing that, but not by much, and it didn't help this group at all, and it actually strengthened him here, right? Because initially he only had 2 stones. Now he's got a line of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is pretty strong. He's still got to run and connect up somewhere, but that did not work out great for me. Wasn't a great play. Carrying on. Battling. See, there's a skill move there. Let's back up a couple. He recognized this. Look at this. This is a snapback, right? He can play in here, and I'm screwed. I'm going to lose these 2 stones, because what am I going to do? Play here to kill him off, but then I have this group of 3 with only 1 liberty. He jumps in and kills me. So he's got this whole group. By playing there, he killed that off. That's an example of a skill. Well played on his part. I have to then play safe because this stone here is in trouble. This one's potentially in trouble. He can put them in Atari and really attack them. So not only did he capture a couple stones there, but he sort of forced me into a couple small moves by doing that. Well played on his part. Good example of his skill in these little battles. Looks like I might be in trouble up here. This stone has 2 liberties. This group of 3 has 2 liberties. He can put me in trouble with that very next play. Look at that. Call it. So another example of his skill in these little 1-to-1 battles. He's not winning a lot of stones with these, right? Like this one, stupidly, I played it out. Hey, I'll take that. But then he says, hey, I'll take this bigger group. So it didn't work out for me at all. He won not a lot of space there, not a lot of territory, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like maybe 8-ish, 10-ish points. Not bad. If you do that a couple times, you're going to win the game. So good on him for getting these little wins. These little steals. Here, what is an example of strategy, I'd say, on my part. He plays down here. He strengthens up it's good play, I'd say. He strengthens up these 2, or this 1 singular stone with the second stone, I should say. But there's no forcing move on me now, right? I don't necessarily have to respond to that. This stone is not attached to anything, but it has 3 liberties. So it gives me the opportunity now to kind of do whatever I want. And if you look at this board here, especially this lower left-hand corner, Black's got that. He's got this line coming out here, right, which obviously looks like it wants to link up to this stone. And then he's also got this group down here, which is not really necessarily connected, doesn't have the eyes yet, but if you look at it, you know, realistically, it can probably connect to here, connect up to here, up to this big group over here. But he's got a lot of stuff in the middle, so if you sort of connect these dots, right? We don't want to do this. This is a huge, I don't know, it's pretty loose up in the top there, but that's a huge chunk of territory in the middle, and we don't want that. So a big move on my part is saying, hey, we want to cut in here. There's a lot of space in here. This stone, this stone, and this stone, they're all on their own. We can attack those. So what do? We push in. Probably could have been more aggressive, maybe even came out another line, something like that. But we're threatening to come in here and cut off these two while also coming in this way at the same time. So that's what looks like a small move. I'd say it's kind of an aggressive strategy type play. And he ignores that? Sure. Oh, and see, there we go. That sets up this move. That was perfect, actually. This move here, it looks a little bit like it's a no man's land, but it does a couple things. It's attacking this group of three by saying, hey, I might cut through here, and then connect up to my group. Or if he wants to play there, I can slide back this way and connect up to this group, strengthening what is kind of a weak group to begin with. So I like that play on my part, and it's set up by this stone right here that we just talked about, because if that wasn't there, I don't think this would be a good play at all, because then Black would play there at h4, and then it would force me up to retreat up this way, and he could probably seal it off. So that was set up with this play. My big move set up the sort of smaller attacking skillful move there. So he cuts me off to the right. Totally fine. I slide left. I have two spots to connect. If he wants to try and cut me off, he doesn't even bother at this point. Oh, look at that. And it gives me the chance to slide down here. All of a sudden now I'm attacking this 4. So he's got a couple groups that are in a bit of trouble now. This group of 4, this one here is not necessarily connected. This one's not necessarily connected. This one's not necessarily connected. He's got 4 groups there that he needs to link up. Not saying that he can't, but there's potential for trouble there. And this little sequence down here really strengthened this group of mine, because it was in trouble. It looks like I should be able to, if I with like one more play up here, like at whatever that, like H or G7, something like that, I'll seal up a nice little base, right? I'll definitely be able to get a couple eyes in there somewhere. Black responds, doesn't want me to sneak in there too much into the bottom. Pushing over on the right-hand side now, threatening to cut in. He blocks it off. There we go. That's the play. Perfect. So now that's all but guaranteed. I think that's going to live. No problem. Still putting a bit of pressure on this group too, so that's nice. Pushing out. Pretty aggressive there with that play. Not a whole lot of big moves left now at this point. We're 165 moves in. We're like 2/3 of the way through the game. I can go a little faster now through the back half here, the back third. Still a bit of space to fight over in the middle. Looks like Black is probably going to seal some of that up. Remember, we sort of talked about this outline that we didn't really want him to get. We managed to push in there a little bit, but a lot of Black's territory is going to come in the middle of the board here. But we're pushing in, trying to get what we can. He's sealing me up, is what it is. Overall, tough to say who really has the advantage at this point. I'm leaning towards me. I think White has a bit of a lead here. We'll find out soon enough. Black was pretty good at these little small battles. He stole 5 points here, 7 points there, 10 points here, 10 points there. But I think I had the bigger moves off the bat, like in the early part of the game. Jumping out a little bit further, setting up some chunks and some nice plays. So I think that has kind of counterbalanced his skill level. Quite frankly, this guy's better than me. If you look at his skill level, he missed moves, or sorry, I missed moves that he put on me and killed me off a couple times that I probably should have seen. So I'd say this guy, in terms of skill and experience, better than I am. But there we go. So we're 246 moves in. We both passed. That is the end of the game. Let's check the scores. White by 16. There you go. I won the game. Nice little battle. Strategy won this game. And that's not the case in every game because, like I said, if you can win those little battles and win 5 here, 7 there, 8 there, you're probably going to win the game. If you can do that 2 or 3 times, that's, becomes like a 20-point swing, you're going to win the game. And that's all it took here, 16 points. That's like an 8-point swing. If you had captured one more little chunk, it would have been more of a coin flip, more of a toss-up, quite a bit closer. Yeah, so like I said, there is a difference between skill and strategy. We're talking sort of big moves, little and small moves, little battles. And they're both important, don't get me wrong. Especially if you can master both, you're going to be awesome. I'm still learning both, and sometimes it feels like I don't know what I'm doing at all. But that's why the game of Go is fun. And we'll probably leave it at that. 16 minutes, faster than usual. Love it. And we'll see you in the next one. Let's go.